And welcome back to the Professor DW podcast. This is episode 13 going into week 13 of the NFL season. Tony Davila, Matthew King, Dominic Murphy in the back. And what a week it was. I'm not going to say anything right now, but there will be some words. All right, so this week, kind of a weird week going into it. Started out a little bit different because nobody expected Houston to beat the Bills on Thursday. And then they did with their backup quarterback. And man, what's going on with the Bills? It is weird and wild. Not sure what's going on with them, but we'll figure that one out later.
Not much good.
No, there isn't really. Josh Allen looks Josh Allen playoffs-ish, which is not great if you've watched football in the last few years. Not good. Anyways, this week, it's not.
We'll talk about that later.
It's
Oh,
not.
good.
But this week they were going to the competition side of this thing. Coming into this week, there were 4 people that were up for the win. Some of the names that, if you're watching this on the regular basis, that you've already heard before: Stephen Kurkinski, Trent Twomley, Jeff Johnson, Jeff Johnson, that is, not Shahalis Jeff Johnson. Hasn't had the big run that he has, but he's more of a basketball guy, seems to get into the March Madness stuff a little bit more. And then the new name is Carter Fab. He was involved, one of the 4 players that was involved in that final push to win this week. However, he chose Carolina. Yuck. How that game went, somehow Carolina couldn't put together offense, even though they had short fields, and Brock Purdy looked terrible. Absolutely terrible in that first half. But Trent, Steven, and Jeff all chose San Francisco to get the win. So that put them into a 3-way tie. And again, the field goals come into play. Total yardage this week was 1,991. What is that?
It's a palindrome.
There you go. Trent's guess of 817 was pretty low. Jeff Johnson's of...
Yeah, we're watching you, Jeff. That's suspicious.
That is. And then Steven had 1789. So Steven comes home with a win. He finally got a win. No more being the bridesmaid. Now he gets to wear that pretty white dress. I don't know what you're into. And then Jeff comes in second. Again, he was already into the postseason tournament. So now 2 more spots are gone, and it's by names that are already in. So taking up 2 more spots, you're running out of room, running out of time here, people. You're going to have to start playing a little bit more. Also, this week, it's Thanksgiving week, so there are 3 games on Thursday, so the deadline has been pushed forward. You got to have them entered before 9 a.m. on Thursday, since the first game is at 10. There are the 3 Thursday games, the Friday game, the normal Sunday games, and then Monday game. No bye weeks this week, so there are a lot of games.
16, actually, to be exact. That's how it works. 32 teams.
Math.
Divided by 2 teams a game, 16.
Math.
College degree. This guy.
Not this guy. Just blabbermouth. All right, so with that being said, now Trent and Jeff are already in the exclusive postseason tournament. What is the postseason tournament? The exclusive postseason tournament is 2 tickets. 2 tickets. To a lot of Seattle area sports. Mariners, Sounders, Rainiers, Seahawks, Kraken, Storm, Emerald Downs. I think I got them all. That is all of them. 2 tickets to all of those. The Ticket Bonanza. All right, so Professor DW, we're going to just start calling him Fesser because there is no pro to that. Not good.
DW stands for doesn't watch.
Wow.
DW
doesn't win.
What in the world is... I mean, he had a decent week last week, but my goodness, embarrassing.
Wow. Yuck, Professor. That was not good at all. Picking New Orleans to get a win. Yowza. The Bucks to get a win. I could see that one a little more, but then Baker went down, and that went out the door quick.
Don't bet against Shador Sanders either. except for this week. Pick against
I
New
would,
Jersey.
I would this week as 1 week thing. Yeah.
I told you he was going to win.
Ugh.
That was my guarantee. One of
Yowza.
many.
Anyways, so with all of that being said, everybody chose the longest long shot of the week was the Houston beating of Buffalo. Second was
Philadelphia's absolute meltdown.
yeah, it looked really bad, and I was trying to figure out the see what had happened was moment of that game, and then it turned around in Dallas. It was book Cowboys.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, Cowboys, Cowboys, and they're back.
Let's move on to the games. We'll
Anyways,
Cowboys
back.
very shortly.
So now, with all of that being said, let's go into the Professor DW week 13 picks. Starting with the Thanksgiving games on Thursday, the morning game, Detroit and Green Bay. The Professor is taking Detroit over Green Bay. Green Bay, what is happening?
They won last week. Dominantly.
Ugly.
They never even had to come back from 21 points. They trailed by 3. That was stressful in the first quarter, but no, I got Green Bay winning this one. Shocker. Detroit just went to overtime with the Giants and probably should have lost that game. They had to play not only 4 quarters, then overtime of very competitive, hard-hitting football. Now you got a quick turnaround. Green Bay, they pretty much stopped playing midway through the third quarter because J.J. McCarthy is terrible. They didn't have to worry about it. So I think Green Bay, you gave Josh Jacobs a week. Jordan Love, with his shoulder injury, really didn't have to throw the ball too much. So I think Green Bay's coming in pretty healthy. I'm gonna take the Packers. The memory of week 1 where Detroit couldn't do anything really against Green Bay's defense. I think they do a little bit more, but Detroit is so banged up defensively. I'll take the Packers, and Jared Goff is going to be under duress, I think, a lot because that offensive line, a little bit shaky.
So the Professor's taking Detroit. I'm taking Detroit just because Green Bay's not probably going to play Josh Jacobs. They probably won't have to. So that's part of my fantasy. He's a big part of my fantasy team. So if you don't play my guy, then I don't like you to win. So Detroit, that's who I'm picking. All right, next game. Professor is Dallas and Kansas City. The Professor's taking Dallas. I'm taking Dallas to beat Kansas City as well. Kansas City is, I'm not sure what they are at this point in the year. It seems like every week they're getting a little bit better, and then they just put up stinkers. They don't blow anybody out, so they let teams stay in the game, which I think favors Dallas. I think Dallas is kind of rolling right now, as long as CD Lamb shows up and not CD Lame that has been here the last few weeks that can't catch passes. What happened, CD? What happened? That should have not had to go down to that end of the game. Wow, how do you drop 2 touchdowns 2 weeks in a row? Brutal, thank the Lord. Georgie Pickens showed up and is being a beast this season. I'm taking Dallas. Professor's taking Dallas. I know you're taking Kansas City.
You are on one this week. My goodness. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs. There's no way Dallas does it again, right? No shot. Dallas on Thanksgiving is either very good or very bad. I think the Chiefs got that big win. They finally saw the ball go in the hole last week, beating Indianapolis in overtime. I think the Chiefs get the win here. I think the Chiefs have found a little bit of a run game? Question mark? Kareem Hunt starting to put it together, starting to really run well, especially in the red zone.
And it's odd with the 2 running backs that they were using and guys that they discarded and then came back, and Kareem Hunt and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're the 2 that are doing it, and not Pacheco and anybody else. So it's wild how Kansas City keeps on getting people back and then making them better. It's weird.
I'll take the Chiefs, though. I trust their kicker more after last week.
It's all about the star. Anyways, Thanksgiving night is going to be Baltimore and Cincinnati. The Professor is taking Baltimore. Joe Burrow's back for Cincinnati. I think I'm still taking Baltimore, and Cincinnati's defense is still Cincinnati's defense, and boy, are they terrible. Joe Burrow is good. Joe Flacco was playing good, putting up points, but when your team can't stop anybody, cannot stop a single person. It is hard to win games, and Baltimore is just going to be too much for Kansas City, in my opinion.
If Flacco was bad last week
He was.
against New England. It wasn't pretty at all. Kept him in the game, I guess, but that was also because Drake May gifted him that pick six. Baltimore, ugh, gross. What is going on there?
Yuck.
Lamar looks awful. Derrick Henry looks washed. Defense has completely turned it around, though. Their defense all of a sudden win games. Oh, yeah. Cincinnati's defense is horrible. Joe Burrow, go out there and throw a few touchdowns to Jamar Chase. I'll take it from my fantasy teams, but I think the Ravens win this one. I think they're going to be able to figure some things out on offense because, well, they're playing the Bengals defense. That's really what it comes
Boy,
down to. I'll
yeah.
take Baltimore, but that should be a fun game,
It,
I think.
it should be at least competitive and interesting. Good nightcap. Might be Snooze Central as well, which is okay because you're full on turkey. You don't have to watch that. That's fine.
Can we just say this might be the best Thanksgiving slate we've seen in a long time?
It actually is a competitive Thanksgiving, so there isn't that like, oh, I'm just going to eat too much food and pass out and not care about this. There's actually good games on this year, so congratulations, NFL. You got it right. All right. Black Friday, there's another game that is a noon kickoff on Friday. Well, if you're watching this on the West Coast, it's a noon kickoff. Everywhere else, figure out your timing. We don't really care. But that game is Philly and Chicago. Is Chicago good? I don't know. 8-3. I don't know how I feel about Chicago leading that division at all. Philly coming off that collapse against Dallas. Professor's taking Philly.
Say it. Fly, Eagles, fly. Say it.
I think I'll take Philly. Why not? They're a little bit mad. Yeah, I'll go Philly. Why not? Chicago. Some point, Chicago's going to Chicago it. Caleb Williams is looking like the greatest thing ever to happen to Chicago, and I just don't see. I want to pump the brakes on that one, and I want Philly to pump the brakes on that one too. Now that they lost to the Cowboys, I don't care what Philly does, so I'll take Philly.
You should care, but I'm going to take Philly too. The Bears are okay. They're all right. They really haven't beaten anyone. The good teams that they've played, they've lost to. They also lost to J.J. McCarthy and probably should have lost to J.J. McCarthy twice. I think Philly losing last week took away any hopes for the Bears. This game's in Philly. Give me the Eagles in a battle of our team's rivals. So we're probably rooting for different directions in that one.
A little bit. Yeah. I got a lot of Philly players on my fantasy team, so I kind of want them to do good.
Cowboys fan or
Hey,
Eagles fan?
I got George Pickens on my team, so Cowboys all day, every day. All right, moving on to Sunday. San Francisco and Cleveland is a 10 a.m. game. The professor is taking San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco because Cleveland stinks. I don't care about Shador Sanders and what he does. Cleveland stinks. Their defense is okay. Offense, yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much. We got to do a better job at not talking too much about bad games. Niners look bad on Monday night, still pulled out the win. Christian McCaffrey, good at football is my official takeaway. Cleveland, Myles Garrett, good at football. However, Browns offense, not good at football. I was like San Francisco.
All right, so there's that. Next game, also a stinker. Jacksonville and Tennessee. Professor is taking Jacksonville over Tennessee. Tennessee made a run at the end against the Seahawks, but they're still bad. Jacksonville, also, I still maintain the stance that I don't think they're good. I think Jacksonville's probably better than Tennessee, so like maybe a field goal at the end wins it for Jacksonville is my thought because both of them are bad and nobody cares about that game at all.
I'm going to take Titans. Upset. Get their second one of the season. Let's go, Tennessee. They impressed me against Seattle. They didn't look like they were, they clearly weren't on Seattle's level. However, they hung around. They didn't get embarrassed at all. What was it, a 6-point game in the end? Take care of the football. They do miss Calvin Ridley quite a bit.
Yeah.
However, run the ball. Jacksonville gifts turnovers. All this defense needs is a couple of turnovers. They got very good special teams as well. Give me Tennessee. Upset time.
Rely on Pollard and Spears, and you'll be all right, Tennessee. Again, nobody cares. All right, up next, Indy and Houston. Professor's taking Indy. I think I like Indy as well in this one, coming off of that loss that they thought they should have won against Kansas City, and then Houston getting that big win over Buffalo. I think they're riding a high. Maybe their quarterback comes back for Houston, which would
Maybe.
lean a little bit helpful wise, but I think I'm riding with Indy on this one. I think they're having a very good season, and I think the injuries to Houston have really stacked up a lot. Their defense is still good, but their offense is a question mark. Like the receiving core for Houston is interesting right now. The Iowa State team, the Iowa State Texans right now is their receiving core.
I don't know who I'm taking in this one as I start talking. This is a big game in the AFC South. Texans win this game. All of a sudden, the AFC South wide open, regardless of what Jacksonville does. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take Indy, I guess. Jonathan Taylor, I still think is going to be the best player on the football field in this game. Houston's defense, though, is legit. They are very good. A little overlooked because, of course, you have some really good defenses that are good teams: Seattle, Rams, Green Bay Packers. I think Indy gets the win. I think they bounce back this week. That loss to the Chiefs might have woke them up a little bit. This is a big game. Give me the Colts, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, that's it. It's a league. It's a divisional game, so that's a toss up. But I think I'll lean Indy for that one. Up next, Miami and New Orleans in a battle of just trash. Wow, Miami is good-ish sometimes when they want to be, but hasn't been a whole lot. And New Orleans is in a rebuild. I feel bad for Kellen Moore, the pride of Prosser, and what he's got to deal with that team. But hey, they keep on losing. They'll maybe be able to draft a quarterback that can actually throw a ball and not have a running back that is hurt early on in the game. So, with that, the professor is taking Miami. I'll take Miami just because I think they have better players overall on their team than New Orleans, but this is a terrible game.
Dominic, I want you to start timing how long Tony talks about some of these awful games that, in his words, nobody cares about.
They don't.
Dolphins, any idiot who traded for Alvin Kamara for a fantasy football playoff push deserves what they got. Miami.
All right. So, it was me. But I did get Michael Pittman Jr., so that did help out actually.
They
So,
have Lad
maybe.
McConkey
Hey,
and Brock Bowers, by the way.
what? What? Anyways, moving on, boy. All right, so up next is going to be the Jets and Atlanta and another who cares. I'm taking I don't care. Atlanta's bad, the Jets are bad. Atlanta with Kirk Cousins that they overpaid for and didn't really need to. I, I guess I'll go Atlanta. I don't know. I think that's a very bad game.
I'm going to say the exact same thing I said last week when talking about the Falcons and the Saints. I'm going to take the Atlanta Bijan Robinsons. Best player on the field, without question. Give him the ball and get out of the way. Atlanta wins.
Moving on. All right. So up next, Arizona and Tampa Bay. Professor is taking Arizona in that one. I'm leaning Arizona just because I haven't heard exactly if Baker Mayfield is going to play or not. He's got that shoulder injury. Nobody really knows. But if he doesn't play, I definitely give Arizona the nod there. I think the injuries are just racking up left and right for the Bucks, and I just don't see how they could do that. I think Arizona's going to win.
I'm going to take Tampa Bay. Is Baker's non-throwing shoulder, which gives me some optimism that he will play. Saying that also for my fantasy team. Please play Baker so I don't have to pick up one of these crappy quarterbacks. But I think he plays. I think they rely on the run game, however, a lot, really ground and pound. Arizona, it feels like they're going to make a few stupid plays throughout the game. So I'll take Tampa Bay, but that game is going to be very interesting. if the Bucks lose, the NFC South kind of opens up.
Yeah, it becomes Wild Wild West or Wild Wild South, apparently. All right, up next, the Rams and the Panthers. Professor's taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams too. I think their defense is legit. They look really, really good right now. The Panthers, they were on an upward climb, but this last week it looked very bad. They couldn't take care of gifts that were given to them. I just don't know what the Panthers are doing right now, but the Rams look really, really good. So I'm taking the Rams. Professor's taking the Rams.
Thing. I don't know how the Packers lost them. That's an embarrassment to the franchise. One that we can't really erase. Rams, they're very good. Everyone's good. Their defense is good. I think they have shown that they're the best team in the NFL thus far into the season. I'm going to go ahead and take LA.
All right. Up next, Seattle and Minnesota. Professor's taking Seattle. I'm taking Seattle. You're probably taking Seattle because Minnesota is starting a rookie quarterback more than likely. And even if they didn't, JJ McCarthy stinks. Stinks. That was a terrible decision by Minnesota to get rid of the two quarterbacks in their room and then stick with that guy. Yuck. You should be ashamed of yourself. GM should be fired. What a terrible decision that was. Seattle in a landslide.
Yeah, this game's going to be disgustingly bad. Enjoy it if you're a Seahawks fan. Do you remember how you felt during the Saints and Cardinals games when you guys were up like 30-0 before it felt like the other offense ever stepped foot onto the field? That's going to be what this game is. I kept thinking the professor was like a big JJ McCarthy fan because whenever we talked about the Vikings, I talked with the professor. He kept saying 9. I didn't realize he was saying 9 in German, which means no, no JJ McCarthy, no. Seahawks by a billion. Lock of the week.
Yuck. JJ McCarthy. Ugh. Anyways, up next, Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Professor's taking Buffalo. You heard me talk about Buffalo already. Pittsburgh, though, without Aaron Rodgers, and even with Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh isn't great. So I think Buffalo's kind of mad about their last game. I think they're going to come out and play better. I think it's still a close game because there is supposed to be just terrible weather as well. But I just think Buffalo can handle that better, and it'll be James Cook all day in that game. So I think Buffalo wins as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills too. I don't think Josh Allen's that bad in the playoffs. I think the defense has been pretty awful in the playoffs. Go look at his numbers after this, Tony. You let me know. Pittsburgh, again, you nailed it. Mason Rudolph, Aaron Rodgers. Offense just bumpy no matter what. The defense isn't what the defense has been. Buffalo gets back in the win column this week.
All right, and another game of who cares? Chargers and Raiders. Professor's taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers because the Raiders are
the worst.
They're right there with the Saints as the worst teams in the league. Maybe with a new OC, since they fired the old one, they can actually use the running back that they drafted early. But the Geno Smith of it all is not good.
He might not play.
I just don't see the Raiders doing anything, so I'm going Chargers, ?
No, I'm going Chargers, ! They're coming off of a bye week. The Raiders are terrible. They couldn't stop Shador Sanders, Tony. What are they going to do with Justin Herbert? This game is going to be ugly. Raiders stink. Terrible, awful, no good. Think of any word that has a negative connotation to it. That's the Raiders. Embarrassing, embarrassment. Just, they might lose by 70. I don't know. Chargers in my pick.
Moving on. All right. Up next, last game on Sunday is Denver and Washington. Professor's taking Denver. I'll take Denver too. I don't think Washington's that good either. Denver does play a lot of games close, but they win a lot of close games as well. Washington, yuck. That receiving core has not really been there this year. It's been a who's who of, are you available this week? Are you not available this week? Or are you just not playing because they're bad? I just think Washington's bad. So Denver.
I watched what Denver did to Dallas's offense, which is good. I'll give you your offense is good. What are they going to do to these poor Commanders led by Marcus Mariota and who knows who else? Broncos. I think this is going to be kind of the win where you're like, all right, they're going to win that division. I think it's going to be a good week to be a Denver fan.
I think so too. All right, and then last but not least, Monday night, New England and the Giants, the Jameis Giants.
Maybe.
Could be Dart. Could be back. But either way, Professor's taking New England. I'm taking New England as well. Their defense is really, really, really good. Their offense doesn't have to be great. They just have to be able to stop the Giants, which who do the Giants have left on their team? Wan'Dale Robinson, I guess, is all right, but everybody else is hurt or not good. So New England.
The New York Football Giants are going to win this game. They played impressively well against Detroit. They hung around with the Packers. They scored on Green Bay's vaunted defense. New England, what have they really done this season? They've beaten bad teams, and that's about it. They beat Tampa Bay. How good is Tampa Bay? I don't know. They beat Buffalo. How good is Buffalo? I'm not sure anymore. They only beat Cincinnati by 6. Drake May did not look like MVP Drake May last week. I think he kind of allowed Matthew Stafford to pull ahead in that race. The Giants also kind of win big games against New England. They win on the big stage against the Patriots, 2 Super Bowls. It doesn't matter. Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, as long as it's not Russell Wilson. I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants. Give me an upset.
Okay. So that's this week. I know we talked a lot about a lot of stuff, made some comments here or there that I'm going to stick by because they're back. They are back. Wow, wow, wow. Football is great when the Cowboys are great, and they're doing good right now.
The Cowboys still stink.
Have you seen that team? Winners. Yeah. Winners, every single one of them.
Play Arizona, actually.
Hey.
And Chicago.
Hey, I don't need that. I don't need that negativity in my life at all. Winners. Winners win, and that's what winners do.
Dominic, thumbs up, thumbs down. Cowboys, you buy
He gave thumbs up, huge thumbs up.
He hasn't done
just for anybody.
Thumbs down, Cowboys stink.
Watching. All right, anyways. So, but really remember, 9 a.m. on Thursday is the cutoff, so make sure you go ahead. It is up. You can fill it out now, fill it out later today, just as long as you get it in by 9 a.m. on Thursday, because there are the 3 games on Thursday, and there's the game on Friday as well that you can watch. That's going to do it for these 2 yahoos, and then that one back there that's not liking my team, so I'm not really happy with him right now.
Bad football team.
We'll find out next week. See you then.